We got competition for the softest umpire in baseball in Boston. Francisco Lindor acting like a total bitch. But first, here's Sid from Toy Story going deep in the Bronx for his 10th home run of the season. He brings home the Yankees' second run on a sac fly. Aaron Judge remains unstoppable. What a bomb for his 16th home run of the year. Oh my god, this is still going. Oh my god, I think it just hit my window. Rangers start scoring in the ninth like a bunch of idiots. They realize you have to score runs to win games, which shout out to them. Better to know that than not, but too late. Yankees win 5-2. Sabrina Carpenter's brother starts the scoring in St. Louis. God, looking at this is what it feels like walking out of a movie theater when the sun is still out. Riley Green drives home 3 with a single, then a homer. Cardinals weren't just going to take that, though. Nolan Arenado says, look what I can do. Ivan Herrera gets him within 1. Mason Wynn ties it, but none of this was a match for Riley Green. Rocket into the gap to give Detroit a 9th inning lead before Tommy Kahnle slams the door. Tigers on top. Man, great gritty comeback win for the Marlins on Monday to start their series against the Cubs. Showing some big fight. Maybe this will be the start to a special... never mind, the Cubs couldn't have opened a bigger can of whoop ass. Only one Cubs hitter doesn't get a hit, and that barely counts because that was a pinch hitter. Everyone and their mother was getting hits out there. 21 overall, 14 run score. Staying in Florida, the Astros were looking like they were going to win another smooth game until the Florida men rallied together to do what they do best, screw things up. Rays rally for 2 in the 8th and walk it off in the 9th. Let's check it on the Twins-Guardians game in Minnesota.
It's raining sideways!
Thanks, Ollie. The Pirates actually won a real-life baseball game, so that's pretty cool. One night after scoring 7 runs, the Reds score 0 to get to a 25-25 record, which perfectly sums up their season so far. Mid. Even though they've been glowing up a little as of late, it's games like this which have made them this mid. Another mid team is the Brewers. They're right in the same boat as the Reds, but they look good here. But it's easier to look good when playing the 15-32 Orioles. Yeah, this team, it is so jarring to see how far they fall. I mean, just look at this.
No.
It is wild. Jackson Chourio then fell on this play. Like, what was up with the outfielders in this game playing wipeout? Jeez. 8 losses in a row for the Orioles, though. They're not having a good time right now. The Mariners did not have a good time in the South Side. 1 run is all the White Sox needed to beat this team. Cam Boozer faces Julio Rodriguez in the exact situation he faced him the night before. Bases loaded, and instead of Julio lining one out, he flies one out to end the inning. And then with the tying run at second in the 9th, Jordan Leisure says goodnight. In today's edition of Saying Something Nice About the Rockies, it could have been worse. Kyle Schwarber keeps being a dog. He has his sights set on the I would be MVP if Shohei Ohtani didn't exist award. 17 home runs on the year. His OPS is almost 1,000. How about Jesus Luzardo? I'll be the first to put my hand up and admit I did not expect him to be this great. Not that he was ever a bad pitcher necessarily in Miami. He was like a number 3 starter at best overall. With the Phillies, he's turned into freaking Randy Johnson. His ERA is under 2. He's 5-0. One more and he's on that MJ energy. He's just dominating. Yes, I know it's the Rockies, but like, you know. Now off to the gay Holy Land where the Giants bounce back against the Royals. Willie Adames hasn't been great so far as a Giant, so good to see him tripling in a run. Casey Schmidt gives them the lead. K-Pop Barry Bonds gives the Giants insurance. Bobby Witt gives the Royals another run, which is exactly why you need K-Pop stars to give you insurance. Giants win. Dodgers D-bags had a game. Well, the first 8+ innings were basically just Yoshinobu Yamamoto shoving it up a bunch of snake asses. Well, if that even makes any sense. He took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. 7 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts, just 1 hit. His ERA is 1.86 now on the year. He's ridiculous. But with 1 out in the 9th, Gabriel Moreno comes up to the plate, and we need this guy to be investigated. Whoever he is, wherever he is, he must be looked into. And it gave the Dodgers bad juju. Right after this was shown, Moreno, who freaking loves Dodger Stadium, ties the game. He had 1 home run on the season coming into this series, and now he has 3. We go to extras. Corbin Carroll goes deep. D-backs take a 3-1 lead before Tommy Edman immediately gives the Dodgers a run back with a double. And here's where it gets really funny. So they put Shohei on because obviously they'd rather take their chances with the righty, Mookie, who flies out and moves the tying run to 3rd, but after Shohei steals 2nd, they decide to put Freddie on 1st too. So they intentionally walk 2 guys to get the bases loaded just to hit Will Smith, so the tying run walks home anyway.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Then Max Muncy ends it on a sac fly. They didn't get any hits after the Edmund double, and they scored 2 runs.
Good job.
Now over to Boston, where you will find so many bitches, and no, I'm not referring to women. That would be rude. I respect women, which is what I don't have for umpires or Francisco Lindor in this situation. Oh my God. So Walker Buehler is out on the mound throwing strikes. Unfortunately, the home plate umpire, Mike Estabrook, wasn't having it. The ball is over the plate in the zone. That's a strike to you? Now, I understand on this specific pitch, the catcher was getting up while catching the ball to throw the runner out, so it's a little trickier, but that's still on the umpire for not understanding and seeing that the ball was in the zone. That's your job to figure out. This umpire in Colorado was able to do it. This umpire in San Francisco was able to do it. Umpires everywhere all the time are able to do it. There's no excuse. And when called out on missing a call, you should most definitely not act like Christian Bale when he sees a cameraman. But that's what Estabrook's dumbass did. And then he escalated the situation by walking out like he's some hot shot. And it always fascinates me how much umpires think it's about them. I get your job is hard to do, but Walker wasn't even that pissed at first until Estabrook started walking out, making the situation more heated. As an umpire, it's also your job to diffuse stuff like this, not enhance it. And it's also a classic case of umpires having too much power, which pisses me off. So if an umpire overreacts, if an umpire gets on his period, he still has the power to eject a player and change the course of the game in such a big way. That's awful. It's just awful. Complete loser. But here's where it gets even crazier. So right before this ejection, Francisco Lindor was up and got on base by getting hit by a pitch that he leaned into. I mean, look at this. And Buehler right away was like, dude, are we serious right now? So Lindor strolls his ass over to first, guns for second, is safe, and Buehler here is mad at the umpire for not calling a strike. So the thing between him and Lindor, if you can even call it a thing, it was more just Buehler being like, what the hell, to the move that Lindor did. So Buehler is now mad at the umpire. The whole thing escalates there because, again, Estabrook escalated it. Like he had the emotional attitude of, I don't know, some sorority girl who just got dumped by a frat guy, all offended. And as Buehler gets ejected because of this, Lindor at second is like, yeah, get him out of here. Get out of here. My brother in Christ. Let me get this. Actually, no, wait. It's always cooler when Morgan Freeman does it.
Let me get this straight.
You just leaned into a pitch that you could have avoided. Instead of getting out of the way or trying to get a hit or work a walk, you lean in and choose getting on that way. And then you proceed to act like a cocky, tough guy rooting for the same pitcher you avoided facing to get thrown out of the game. Now, in a strategical sense, this actually makes a lot of sense, right? You want your opposing pitcher to get thrown out of the game or taken out early so the bullpen has to work and they get taxed and it helps everything. Obviously, whether Buehler gets thrown out or not is not up to him, but it's also a big move to root for that. And the way he did too, like, oh my God, such a weird, corny thing for Lindor to do there. Alex Cora gets ejected quickly after this. He's obviously pissed at the umpire having a meltdown, which cost his team. He breaks the bullpen phone. Then the Red Sox use that broken bullpen phone case as a celebration to hold up. I mean, we're living in a sitcom. You can't tell me baseball isn't the best reality TV show. And the Mets offense looked very corny the rest of the night. You want the Red Sox bullpen? You got the Red Sox bullpen. 0 runs scored the entire night. A couple home runs by Carlos Narvaez and Rafael Devers is all they need because all the Mets could count on was getting hit by a frickin' pitch. And what Buehler said after the game on Twitter was the icing on the cake. He quote tweeted a tweet that was mentioning what Lindor did, rooting for the ejection by saying, I wouldn't want me out there either. Sad thing is the bullpen is full of effing animals. Tough choice. I wouldn't want me out there either. Walker really hit him with the,
I wouldn't want to fight me neither.
Maybe this goes back to the postseason when Buehler struck Lindor out with the bases loaded. That stuck in Lindor's head. Either way, Lindor was a bitch. And Mike Estabrook was a Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.